More than 24 protesters accused of shutting down the Golden Gate Bridge during a Gaza protest 4 months ago have turned themselves in to law enforcement. The CHP estimates thousands of drivers were trapped by that protest back in April, in some cases prompting serious health consequences. KTVU's Christian Captain live tonight for us outside the Hall of Justice. Christian, some of those demonstrators now facing felony charges here.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Some of those protesters are now facing felony charges. There was a large crowd on hand this morning as those protesters turned themselves in. 26 demonstrators who authorities say took part in an April protest on the Golden Gate Bridge were ordered to turn themselves in at the county jail this morning to face charges. San Francisco's district attorney announcing the charges over the weekend, including felony charges for 8 of the demonstrators, saying the protesters went beyond free speech. Investigators spoke with more than 100 people who were caught up in the protest and found 36 who were seriously impacted by being held up for hours.
4+ hours of being stranded without restrooms, without water, without other resources. We had people who missed serious medical appointments, both cancer patients, people who, a man who had a surgery to remove a brain tumor. We had a child with cerebral palsy stuck on a school bus for over 4 hours.
All our people will be free.
More than 150 protesters were on hand as the demonstrators turned themselves in. Supporters saying they sympathize with those stuck that day in April, but say the protesters had an important message.
4 hours stuck in traffic is tough. 7,450 hours of this depraved genocide is criminal, evil, and intolerable.
An attorney representing some of those arrested says taking them into custody was unnecessary.
For a misdemeanor, typically you are told to come to court and you have your day in court and you can deal with release conditions, all that kind of stuff in court. You don't have to surrender yourself into jail and sit there for 10 to 12 hours.
Public Defender Noha Abu Samra says some of those arrested will be defended by the Public Defender's Office. She says the DA is sending a message with these charges, and that message could impact how people express their First Amendment rights.
She is taking a stance that is essentially sending a message to people that your freedom of speech, your rights to free speech are in danger.
The DA's office says the demonstrators crossed the line from expressing their opposition to the war in Gaza to essentially detaining people on the bridge illegally and not complying with lawful orders to disperse.
We have filed conspiracy charges for the planning and orchestration of the demonstration, false imprisonment for those who were kept and basically held hostage on that bridge.
Now, authorities tell us some of the protesters have already been cited and released, but those 8 that are facing felony charges are due back in court tomorrow to be formally charged and enter their pleas of guilty or not guilty, Mike.
Christian Captain live tonight in San Francisco. Christian, thank you.